Hello and welcome back to Peanut. My name is Mr. Austin and today is lesson number 5 from the Healthy Schools, Healthy Communities curriculum. And for today's Peanut lesson, we are talking all about where does my food come from? That's what the words right next to my head say. They say, where does my food come from? So my question for you right now when we're getting started is, where do you think fruits and vegetables come from before they get to the store? So when you go to the grocery store and you see all those different fruits and vegetables, I'm going to give you a little hint. They don't just grow in the grocery store, right? They don't just pop up on the shelves. Where do the fruits and vegetables come from? I'm going to give you a minute to think. Fruits and vegetables come from the ground. They either grow under the ground. There's a bunch of vegetables that grow under the ground. Things like carrots you have to pull out of the ground. Things like potatoes grow under the ground. Or they grow over the ground on different kinds of plants or different kinds of bushes or up in trees. So things like apples. We have a lot of apple trees here in Michigan. Things like bananas, things like oranges. Then there's like strawberries that grow on a strawberry bush. We have green beans that grow on a plant or that grow on a bush outside of the ground. So fruits and vegetables come from the ground, either underneath or up above on a plant. So where are some places where you can see those fruits and vegetables growing? I told you they're on trees, they're on bushes, or they're under the ground. But there's a couple places we usually see where people grow fruits or vegetables. They're either in a garden. So maybe you have a garden at home, or maybe there's a garden at your school, or maybe you've just seen a garden. You can grow all kinds of things in a garden. You can grow flowers too. A lot of people grow flowers, but a lot of people grow fruits and vegetables too. The other place where fruits and vegetables grow a lot is in or at a farm. So if you've ever been to a farm before or seen a farm, a lot of farmers' jobs is to grow fruits and vegetables. So think in your head, have you ever seen a garden or have you ever seen a farm where fruits and vegetables are growing? And I want you to click yes or no on the screen. So think if you've ever seen a garden where some plants are growing, some fruits and veggies, or if you've ever seen a farm where the fruits and vegetables are growing too. So now, talking about that, we are going to talk about plants and the different parts of a plant. So, you and me, we have different parts, right? All of us humans have different parts. We have our head, we've got our eyeballs, we've got our fingers, we've got our arms, we've got your legs. You can't see my legs because I'm sitting down, but we all have different parts of our body. And guess what? Plants have different parts too. And we are going to talk about them right now. I'm going to make this picture right here nice and big so that you can see it. And we're going to talk about the different parts of a plant. Because most plants have all the same parts. Just like humans or people have all the same parts too. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the roots of the plant. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so you can see me and I can point at them. The roots are the bottom right there. All those little things right there. And that helps the plant stand up straight and grow tall. The next part of a plant is called the stem, and that's that green part that goes right up the middle, the super straight part. That's what helps it stand up straight and grow tall if the plant grows tall. It can be a little plant, or it can be something like a tree, right, which grows super tall most of the time. The next part of a plant is called the leaves. We all know what a leaf is, and that's all on the outside of this plant right here. You can see them all on the outside. That's what helps the plant to eat. It eats in a different way that we do, but it helps get the food so that it can grow bigger and taller. The next part of a plant is flowers. And I'm going to make this picture big again so you can see. Can you see the flowers on there? So they're right at the top of the plant. They're little and they're yellow, but that plant has some flowers, which also helps the plant to grow and helps spread different things from the plant so that it can grow in other places. The next part of the plant, we have 2 more, is the fruit of the plant. So this plant right here is a tomato plant. And if you look super closely, right in the middle of it, right in the middle of that plant, you can kind of see some of those tomatoes growing. So click, can you see those tomatoes that are growing on that plant right there? You can see them. A couple of them are a little green. There's one that's starting to turn red, which is what you want your tomatoes to look like before you pick them. You want to make sure they're ripe. So that's the 5th part of a plant. And then the last part of a plant is the seeds. So if you've ever seen a seed for a plant before, they're super small, but you put the seeds under the ground You cover them up with dirt. You have to water them and take care of them. And then they grow and grow and grow into another plant. So you can have more fruits. You can have more vegetables. So all of that makes up the parts of a plant that we have right here. All right, let's see what we're doing next. All right, the next thing we're going to do is pretty fun. This is going to be a little game that we're going to play. And right there on the screen it says, watch me grow. That's what the words say right there. So we are going to act like we're a seed that's going to grow into a plant. And we are going to act like a strawberry plant. Just like the strawberries right there. Strawberry is my favorite fruit. I love strawberries. So we're going to act like a strawberry plant. So here's how we're going to do it. This would be a lot of fun if we were in the classroom together. But we're going to try our best on the video. So I want you to stand up. Just like me. Push your chair out of the way if you're sitting in a chair. And then back up and make sure you have enough room so you're not going to bump into anybody or bump into anything either. And we're going to try this on the video, so you're going to act like seeds. And I'm going to tell you the different steps that a seed goes through until it turns into a plant. So the first step that I want you to do, and you can do this at home, I'm not going to be able to show you just because of my camera, but I want you to curl up into a little ball. So you can just do it like me and stand up and curl up, but I want you to curl up into a little ball. As small as you can do it. So you can lay on the ground and kind of curl up like this, or you can just stand like me and you can kind of curl and bend over. And that's when you're going to be acting like a seed. So the first part is you acting like a seed and you're all curled up. You're a tiny little seed that we put under the ground with some dirt on top. But for the seed, what does the seed need in order to grow? What do you think seeds need to grow? Seeds need water. So I'm going to act like I'm raining all of you. If I was in your classroom right now, I'd walk around and do this over you and act like it's raining. So I'm going to act like the rain is coming down. It's landing on top of the dirt and it's coming on top of you, the little seed. And what I want you to do is slowly start to uncurl. Because as you're uncurling, just like a plant, once a plant gets water underneath the dirt, it slowly starts to come up out of the dirt until it's a tiny little plant. So that's what we're going to do right now. So you curl over. I'm going to act like it's raining. And I want you to slowly, if you went on the ground, I want you to slowly stand up. If you were like me like this, I want you to slowly uncurl until you're standing straight up while I make it rain. And that's the next one. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stand up as straight as we can. And I know you can't see my feet, but I want you to wiggle your toes. Your toes are your roots. So we talked about the roots before. The roots is what help the plant grow and stay strong so that it doesn't fall over. And it helps the plant get more water from under the ground so that it can keep growing. So I want you to wiggle your toes on the ground like those are the roots. So you're getting more water and you're growing taller. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to slowly raise your arms, because now that you're getting some water, now you're starting to get some leaves. So slowly put your hands out, put your fingers out like this, and these are your leaves. So you can move your hands around, you can wave them a little bit like it's windy, because that's just like the leaves on a plant when it starts to grow. All right, the next thing I want you to do, I'm going to move this picture so you can see me. Now that we have that, oops. Now I want you to spread your fingers. So we had it like this. Here's your leaves. You're waving in the wind. So we're getting a little bit taller. We're starting to get some leaves. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to slowly open your fingers up. So your hands are nice and wide. Now you've got some flowers. Your hands are the flowers, and the flowers are blooming. Now that the flowers are blooming, I want you to kind of raise your hands up like this. Try and stand as tall as you can so you're growing up super tall. And now that those flowers are on top, now that you have the leaves, now that your stem and your roots are growing bigger and stronger, now you turn into a strawberry, which is what we want, the juicy strawberry. And once again, if we were in the classroom with each other, I would come around and I would pick the strawberries from all around your classroom. And that's what we do in real life. We pick the strawberries, we take them to the grocery store, or we take them back home, and we get to eat those juicy strawberries that are so delicious. All right. That's a fun game. I like that one. Let's put this back up. Oh, I'm going to make this big so you can see it. And we're going to play this one in a little bit. This is another game, but we're going to play that in a little bit. We're going to skip that one, and we're going to read our book first, and then we're going to play our next game. So this book is called Little P, and I'm going to make this big so you can see it. So this is one of my favorite stories too. So we're going to read through this one right now. Little P. So you can see the little P right up there on top of the spoon. He's all the way at the top, and we're going to learn who that bigger P is that's on the spoon right there in 1 minute. So let's read this story. All right. This is the story of Little P, Mama P, and Papa P. Little P was a happy little guy. He liked to do a lot of things. He liked rolling down hills, for example, super fast. And you can see he's going super fast down that hill right there. He liked hanging out with his pea pals. So you can see they're hanging out outside. He liked it when Papa P came home at the end of the day. Papa P would fling Little P off a spoon high into the air. And Little P would scream, "Again! Again!" So now we can see what the picture on the cover of the book was. Papa P is flinging Little P up in the air. And then he's going and he's doing it again because it's super fun. At bedtime, Little P very much liked snuggling with Mama P and hearing stories about what Mama P was like when she was a little P. But there was one thing that Little P did not like. Uh-oh, let's find out what that is. What do you think it's going to be? What is one thing that Little P did not like? Candy. That's what you have to eat for dinner every night when you're a P. Candy, candy, candy. So Little P doesn't like candy. You can see his face up there in the picture. He looks not very happy. He looks very sad because he's got to eat some candy. On Monday, there was red candy. On Tuesday, there was orange candy. On Wednesday, there was yellow candy. On Thursday, there was purple and pink polka dotted candy. On Friday, there was striped candy. On Saturday, there was swirly candy. And on Sunday, there was rainbow candy. And Little P hated all of it. If you want to grow up to be a big, strong P, you have to eat your candy, Papa P would say. If you don't finish your candy, then you can't have dessert, Mama P would say. How many pieces do I have to eat? Eat 5 pieces and you can have dessert. 5 pieces, he whined. 5 pieces, they chimed. 1. Yuck. And you can see on there that he ate 1, so instead of 5, now there's 1, 2, 3, 4 candies left. 2. Ugh. So now there's 1, 2, 3 candies left because he ate 2. You can see his face is still not very happy. 3. And you can see he ate 3 pieces, so now there's 1, 2 pieces of candy left. 4. Ugh. So now he ate 4, only 1 piece left. 5 pieces of candy. Now can I have dessert? So you can see Little P's plate is nice and empty, which means he ate all 5 pieces of candy. Yes, now you can have dessert, said Mama P and Papa P. Little P couldn't wait to see what it was. Spinach, squealed Little P. My favorite. So he's got a big bowl of spinach right there. Little P licked his dessert plate clean. Yum, yum, extra yum. So you can see he took a couple big bites, and on the third picture, he ate the whole bowl of spinach. And they lived happily ever after. So I'm going to move this so you can see me. That is a silly book. And why is that book so silly? Why is that book kind of funny? What did Little P not like to eat? Candy, right? Candy. He didn't like to eat candy. Everyone likes to eat candy, right? So this book is a little silly because it kind of tricks you. Because what kind of food is Little P? Is he a fruit? No, he's not a fruit. He's a vegetable. So they were talking about healthy foods. So even though he's a healthy food, he had to eat some candy for his healthy food so that way he could have some dessert, which was spinach. So that's just kind of a silly book because it's a little bit different than what we would do, right? Most of the time we wouldn't want to eat our spinach at the dinner table. But if we do eat all our spinach, then maybe after dinner we get a couple pieces of candy. So I like that book. It's a little bit silly. All right, here's the game. So we are going to play a game now, and the game is going to be called Roots, Stems, and Flowers. So here's how it's going to work. And this is another one. Here, I'm going to make this go away so you can see me where it might be a little bit harder to show you because I can't move my camera, but let's see if you can see. So roots, stems, and flowers. So here's how we're going to play. We are either going to act like a root, a stem, or a flower, which are all different parts of a plant. So I'm going to say either root, stem, or flower. And here's what you're going to do. If you hear me say root, I want you to either huddle up like this, like we were doing before, or if you have enough room at home, I want you to bend down like this and kind of bend down and hug your knees just like this. I know you can't see me, but I'm hugging my knees just like that. So if I say root, I want you to bend down and hug your knees. If I say stem, I want you to stand up super straight and I want you to reach your hands up as high as you can. So if you hear me say stem, I want you to go super straight like this, just like the stem of a plant does. And then the last one, if I say flower, I want you to go with your arms and hand out, just like if we're doing a jumping jack, but I want you to hold it. So you're going to go out like this. And you're going to have your feet spread out. I know you can't see mine, but your feet spread out and your arms spread out, just like this. So I'm going to say it kind of fast to kind of trick you. So one more time. If I say root, bend down, grab your knees. If I say stem, I want you to stand up straight, put your arms up. And if I say flower, I want you to go out like this. And put your hands and your legs spread out as far as you can. All right. So let's go. Let's walk in place while we're playing. So walk a little bit. All right. Stem. So put your hands up like this. Flower. Arms and feet out. Root. Bend over, flower, pop up, stem, stand up straight, root, bend down, flower, pop up again, root, go back down, stem, straight up, flower, arms and feet straight out, stem, straight up and down. Let's do a couple more. Root, go back down, root, oh, go back down again, hold it for a second, flower, spread out, stem, straight up, stem, straight up, try and go up on your tippy toes, root, go back down, stem, straight up, flower, go back out. All right, catch your breath, take a couple deep breaths in and out. That's a fun one. I like that game because it's fast. All right, let's put this back up. We got a couple more things to talk about. So let's make this big so you can see the healthy snack. So the healthy snack, as you can see in our pictures, is peas. So just like from our book where we read about Little P, peas are a vegetable. So peas are a vegetable that grow on, usually they grow on a bush. So right in that middle picture right there, let me move that. Right in this middle one right here, you can see it grows on a plant. So they grow out of the ground, and then right on the leaves, you can see the leaves, the peas grow right there. So you can have peas just like the picture on the right. So the picture where there's a bunch of little ones, so you can have peas all by themselves right there. You can have them. You can have snap peas, which look like these peas in the middle where they stay inside of its little, like the casing that it has around it, and then you can eat the pea. Those taste good if you dip them in ranch or if you dip them in hummus. Those are always a good snack. You can put peas in different foods. So a lot of people put peas, in soups, or they put them in pies if you've ever had chicken pot pie before. So peas are a good snack. They're super easy to eat. You can get them frozen and then you can heat them up. So peas are pretty tasty. So next time you see some peas, maybe you see them at school or maybe you see them at the grocery store at home, I want you to give them a try and see if you like them, because peas can be a good snack and those are super healthy for you too. Okay. The last thing we're going to talk about is right here, these words say, what happens when you plant a seed? So I want you to think about what happens if you were to plant a seed. Just like you can see these boys are planting the seed right there. So if you've ever planted a seed, maybe at school, maybe you've done it at school, or maybe at home, what happens? So what happened when you plant that seed? Did you have to put some dirt on top of it? I bet. Did you have to water it? And then hopefully, if you did a good job, what happened to it? It should start to grow. You can see in this picture right there, those boys are starting to get a little bit of whatever plant that they planted. It's starting to pop up out of the ground and it's starting to grow. So hopefully that happened when you did it. So the last thing I want to ask you, one little quick question before we're all done, is I want you to think, what is one part of a plant that we talked about today? So we talked about all those different parts of a plant. What's one? What's one that you remember? We acted like some different ones during our game. What is one part of a plant? So you could have picked the roots of a plant. You could have picked the stem of a plant. You could have picked the leaves of a plant. You could have picked the flowers. You could have said fruit, or you could have said the seeds. All those are different parts of a plant that the plant needs to grow. They're all super important for the plant. Okay, the healthy homework for today. So for when I see you next time we talk on video, I want you to go outside. Go out in your yard or maybe when you go on a walk, and I want you to find a plant. And I want you to look and see, do you see the leaves of the plant? Do you see the flowers that are on the plant? Or do you see the stem of a plant? I want you to look at that plant and I want you to see if you can see some of the stuff that we talked about. Maybe you see a tree outside. You can go look at the tree because it's got some of the parts of the plants that we talked about too. So that's what I want you to do for your healthy homework before our lesson next time. And that's all I have for today. Next time that I see you, it'll be for the last lesson of Peanut. So remember to look for some plants outside and see what different parts of a plant you can see. And I will talk to you next time.